Hi there. Today I wanted to just sit down and have a little chat. I'm working on a puzzle right now. It's Disney themed. I actually really don't like this one, but it's in a pack of four, like it's a variety pack of Disney puzzles, and I thought one of them was really pretty, so I bought the whole pack. And I really don't like this one, so I'm starting with it to get it out of the way so I can like really finish strong. If you can't tell, we are touchdown in Eddyville today. Population me. So I'm working on a puzzle right now, and I wanted to talk about my most anticipated movies coming out this year, and then my thoughts on movies that I've recently watched, like a random assortment. Doesn't matter what year, just what I've recently watched. And we're just gonna sit and have a little chat. Like I just want to chat. I just want to yap, and I really have been seeing a lot of movies lately. So you see my failed attempt at a recap video. I think I did about 4 episodes of that before I was like, I can't do this. That was too much commitment for me. So, first up, for one of my most anticipated movies, is Heretic. And I don't know if this is just like I've come across it because of marketing or whatever, but no one else I know has heard of it. I keep on like bringing it up to my friends and they just have never heard of it. But I think maybe it's because I'm like kind of obsessed with Sophie Thatcher right now and she's in that movie. She was also in Maxine for like a minute, 1 minute. So I really want to see Heretic because it has Sophie Thatcher and she looks so pretty in the trailer. And it's genuinely like a pretty creepy, like it looks scary. So if you haven't seen the trailer, it's like, do you know like the Christian people who go knock at people's door and they're like, do you have a second to talk about Jesus? Well, it's like two girls are those Christians, and they go to knock on this guy's door, like out in the middle of the woods while it's raining, and they're like, "Hey, man, do you want to talk about God?" And he's like, "Sure, come on in." And they go in, and he like traps them there? Question mark. And it looks scary. I'm gonna switch on over to another Sophie Thatcher movie, The Boogeyman from 2018. I don't know if anyone saw this, which is crazy because it's a Stephen King adaptation, and it's like pretty good. I don't know. I really like it, and I'm doing that thing that I did with 50 Shades, where like as soon as I like a movie a little bit, I'm like, rewatch it. So I'm actually like, right now, the TV is on a pause screen because I'm halfway through rewatching it for a third time. Like, I think something's wrong. For another anticipated one, I really want to see. Okay, this is embarrassing. Is it Cuckoo or is it Cuckoo? I'm gonna say Cuckoo. I hate that. I'm just not gonna say the title. But it's with Hunter Schafer. It's a horror movie and it looks so like trippy and weird and scary. Once again, I am led astray because Hunter Schafer just looks so pretty in the trailers. And like she looks so cool as a final girl. Like wow. I'm really excited because I really wanted to see her in like a leading role and this looks like it is a leading role for her. And I love a little final girl. You know, that's my favorite genre in horror. Genre. Why did I say it like that? Oh, and also Dan Stevens looks really creepy in that movie. Did you see him in Abigail? I feel like I've been scrolling so much horror Twitter that I feel like these are mainstream movies. Like I'm like, oh, everyone watches these. Like everyone knows about this. But then I went to the movies with my horror movie friend, like my friend who I watch horror movies with. That's the one I like talk about them with because no one else likes them. But then I went to the movies with my horror movie friend like yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, like, do you want to see Maxine or do you want to see Twisters?" And she was like, "What is Maxine?" And then I was like, "It's the end of the trilogy, you know, like X and Pearl." And she was like, "What?" So I think I might exist in a bubble. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to Cuckoo. But it's spelled like Cuckoo. Cuckoo? Like I thought cuckoo was like Coocoo. Coo. Okay, anyway, I also watched Longlegs in theaters. I'm really upset about it, but I didn't like it. And like I I feel like I'm not in on it. Like everyone loved Longlegs. I just didn't like it. I feel like I'm not in on the joke. And like I really want to go watch it cuz I feel like I might have just missed something or I didn't have my expectations managed or like I had somehow created what I thought the plot was going to be in my head before, and it just was so different. Not even so different, but just like executed in a way that I didn't think it, like the pacing was, I don't know. I just think it was a me problem. I'm choosing to believe it was a me problem because I just like everyone loves it. And like I love Micah Monroe and I was so there for Nick Cage and I just I also didn't find it very scary, which is like, oh my god, everyone said it was the scariest movie ever. But like Nick Cage is just a little goofy. Come on. I think they showed a little bit too much of him, like his face. I really liked all the ads in like the beginning of the movie where you didn't see what he looked like fully. You would see like little shots of him or like brief stills or like he'd be really far away so you couldn't really tell what he looked like. I think that's way scarier than like the second half of the movie. He's just fully on screen in good lighting and you see kind of how ridiculous his prosthetics look and his face just looks swollen. It's just like weird. It's not like that creepy, it's just weird. And then he starts like singing and I'm just seeing his face as he's singing. And this goes on for like 20 seconds and it's like kind of scary. It's loud. It's like really loud at the end, and that like kind of alarms me. And it sounds like somebody's screaming, and that's cool. Like that's a good editing choice, and it I'm sure it has like a story purpose, but it can't like retroactively make that entire 20 seconds of singing scarier. Like I was just kind of giggling to myself, like what the fuck is going on? But I guess that's also kind of a good way of putting it, because like what do you even because the point of horror movies is that you insert yourself into the situation. So I'm like, oh my god, if I was across from Longlegs right now while he was singing at me for 20 seconds, like not just subtly singing, like scream singing, and he's just doing, and I'm like, I can't imagine a world where I let it go on for that long, and I'm not like, hey man, you need to leave. Hey, can you stop doing that? The lady in the movie had a shotgun when he started doing this. I'd be like, okay, come on. Like, how did he even? And he's supposed to get the upper. I'm sorry, I'm getting really. This is exactly what happened when me and my dad left the theater. Is we were talking about this movie like probably a full day after we walked out of it. We were still like, I just don't get it, and I still feel like that, and I'm still like, there's something there. Everyone loved it, and people are mean. I feel like people want to hate things. And everyone just loved this. Maybe everyone just wanted to like this one. Or maybe I'm missing something. I have a lot of feelings on Longlegs, so we're gonna move on. But related to Micah Monroe, I came back from Longlegs and I was like, I need I need a moment because I need to watch like a Micah Monroe horror movie that's not that. And yeah, I watched Watcher to do that. And I had never seen Watcher, but it's been on my list for a while. So the concept, this woman moves with her. Okay, I've rewatched this one also, and I still don't know if they're married or dating. I'm pretty sure it's like a fiance type situation or like long term boyfriend, but not yet married situation. But she moves there with her, I'm just gonna say boyfriend. They move to Romania. I think it's Romania for their job or for his job. Jesus. They moved to Romania for his job, and she's not working, so she's gonna be at home all day. She doesn't speak the language, but he does. She doesn't know anyone there, and she's like uprooting her entire life to move there. And they get there, and everything's cool. But then she sees this person across from her in the apartment, like across from her, like staring into her window all the time. And there's this string of murders going on around her neighborhood because there's this guy, like a serial killer called the Spider. He's like going into women's apartments and like beheading them, and it's like really gruesome. She sees this guy like looking into her apartment all the time from the apartment across the street, just all the time. She's like convinced that he's following her, and she's like, this is the Spider, like something's wrong with this guy, and kind of like gets like the movie plays it so that you're like, is she imagining this? And then at some point she follows him around and you're like, okay, like are you doing the stalking? Have you become like obsessed with this or whatever? I watched Dead Meat and they did a podcast where they did a March Madness bracket of the worst horror movie boyfriends, and this guy in Watcher like got to the semifinals or something. He made it so far in this bracket, and he deserves it because he speaks the language and she doesn't, and she feels super isolated, and he's like, the news is playing on the TV and he definitely like doesn't mention all the details when she asks for them because he like, I guess he just wants to not encourage this or whatever because he definitely thinks she's imagining this. At some point they're at this work cocktail party, and this is pretty deep into her like accusations, and like the cops have like kind of come and intervened, and they've been like, hey, like work it out between you two, and she's still very clearly scared, but he's like, okay, we're gonna go to this cocktail party, and they go to this cocktail party, and she like walks over to this table of like four people, and they're his work colleagues, and they start speaking in Romanian, and he's not translating, and so she's just sitting there like a big dumb idiot, and he's just not translating. And then this fucker makes a little comment in Romanian, laughs a little bit, and she's like, what did you say? And he's like, oh, like it's just a work joke or something. This fucker. Little does he know that she's been listening to like tapes to learn Romanian, and she's like started to pick up on the language, and she hasn't told him. And so she knows enough to pick up that he's like, oh, well, at least she has the spider at home to keep her company. That's what he said. What an asshole. She uprooted her entire life to be there, and you're gonna be like, this crazy bitch. Like, what the fuck is your problem, dude? Sorry. Like, it really pisses me off. I really think he should have won. No, he shouldn't have won the bracket, because he was up against, like, Crispin from Your Next. It's kind of nothing worse than hiring an assassin to kill your entire family. Like, that's pretty bad. He wins, but the guy from Watcher's still an asshole. For a movie that I've watched recently, we have Twisters, and I saw this with like four of my friends. And let me tell you, Glenn Powell in a cowboy hat really does things to women from Texas. And I just like, I wish I was there. Like, I wish I was there with them. I kind of went for Daisy Edgar Jones, and she was very pretty. Like, very, very hot also in this movie. But I just felt so isolated. Everyone was like, oh my God, at Glen Powell. And I see it. I'm like, damn, he's really sexy. It's just not the same, you know? I was like, oh, look, she's so hot. And like my friends would be like, what? And I'm like, the moment passed, like I can't. Okay, so for a movie I've watched recently, so yesterday I went to the theaters and I did a double feature of Twisters and A Quiet Place, and I started with A Quiet Place. And let me tell you, we were touched down in Eddyville, ladies and gentlemen, right around when the title sequence was rolling and A Quiet Place Day One. Wow, what a scary movie. It was really, really good though. I like it did kind of launch me into a panic. There's a like a fake scare, like a dream scare, and it comes so out of nowhere. It actually like I had to like sit and like look away from the screen and just like breathe for like a minute to calm myself down because it was just scary. It like really startled me. I also think that maybe it's not that scary in that Regal Cinemas, my number one op, turned the volume like all the way up, and it was so loud. Like the commercials were scary. They did that to me when I saw the new Ghostbusters movie. I saw it. It was unbearable. Everything in that movie was so fucking loud. It hurt my ears so bad, and I was so overstimulated. And literally that scene opens with a huge bolt of lightning and like a crash of thunder, and it shot me out of my seat. I thought I was having a heart attack because it does it like three in succession. I was like, am I being shot? Anyway, I'm really angry because Regal's done that to me like 3 times. I also think they did it in when I saw Late Night with the Devil. And let me tell you, we were touched down in Eddyville then too. And I nearly had a fucking panic attack at the end. It's so scary. It was so scary. There's just like this sequence at the end that's like flashes of a lot of scary imagery, and it's like he's stuck in his own hell. And that was like really scary to me. It was really overwhelming and loud and a lot. And I was alone in the theater except for a couple, like a couple rows down from me. And I was so glad when they came in because I was like 5 minutes into the movie and I was the only one in the theater, and I was like, fuck, 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 like I can't handle that. And that end scene, when I was nearly having a panic attack, she was like in the, like a couple rows in front of me going like, oh my God, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. And I was like, I'm right there with you, girl. And it's because it was so fucking loud, I'm telling you. So anyway, I have to like file a claim with Regal Cinemas about their variety of volumes. Okay, for another anticipated one, I have Trap, the M. Night Shyamalan. Like what a silly little concept. And like how cheeky to reveal that he's the killer. It's the movie where the dad and the daughter go to this concert, and it's like a Taylor Swift level concert. The trailers, he talks to the security guard and he's like, what's up with all the police? And the security guard is like, okay, you didn't hear it from me, but you know that serial killer guy? Rumor has it he's gonna be at this concert, and the police have surrounded the place and have made it into a trap for him because there's no one getting in or getting out. Which kind of feels like a dumb plan by the police, no? Like, why would you want the serial killer to feel trapped in an environment with lots of vulnerable innocents? Is that not like a safety hazard? Surely it has to be. I guess they're hoping they can catch him off guard. I don't know, I haven't seen it. That's why it's my most anticipated. In the same trailer, it reveals that the dad is the butcher, like he's the serial killer. And so now he's like gotta try and get out without like alerting the police. And his daughter's just there to see the artist. He's just a suburban dad. Like, what a silly little concept. I kind of love that. Another anticipated is Alien Romulus. I don't really have much to say. I think it looks really cool. I also like that this one seems to be expanding more on the face huggers, that version of the alien. Because I honestly think that's the creepiest part, and having like a ton of those little bitches running around, that's so scary. Like that one shot in the trailer of one of them flying towards that guy's face, that was so scary. And it also looks so classic Aliens to me, you know? I think they get like a flamethrower, and that girl's in like a muscle tee, and I'm like, that's so Sigourney Weaver. It makes me think of the first one. Yeah, that's definitely anticipated, and that's the end of my list. Let me think if I can think of any more. Because I'm really upset I didn't like Long Legs. I just have to watch it again. I still don't think I'm gonna like it. I feel like so bad because Dead Meat is like my horror channel. Like, that's who I go to for horror racks. I'm like, okay, this is a good movie because Dead Meat thought it was a good movie and I really liked it. And they love Long Legs. They had that private screening. They had a private screening with Micah Monroe come, and they had a bunch of their fans see it. And I was like, fuck, I want to go so bad. But how awkward would it have been if I went and I didn't like the movie? Micah Monroe's there. So maybe I dodged a bullet, but it makes me really sad that they really liked it and I didn't. Maybe I'll read some articles, read some theories. I was walking out and I said that to my dad, and he was like, oh, so you need someone to tell you why you should like it? And I'm like, yes. If one thing is true, I'm a follower at heart. I didn't bustle at all during this video. And I was like worried because I only had a little bit of the puzzle left to do. I was like, oh fuck, like what if I finish while I'm filming? I would have picked up a piece and stared at it for like 2 full minutes in silence. This video would have been twice as long to get across the same amount of information. And I rambled a lot in this one. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that this was interesting for you, even if you haven't seen these movies. Consider this like a rec list, unless I said I didn't like it. But I think the only one I didn't like on this list was Long Legs. The tension between me and Long Legs. Yeah, and then for the anticipated ones, I don't know. I don't know if like maybe I'll update you when I see them. Maybe I'll have a movie review. Okay. Hopefully this is coherent. Hopefully I didn't slur my words too much because my mouth is really dry. No particular reason. All right. Bye. Let me in now, and it can be nice. Make me go nice.